Hello there. I'm going to share some really interesting things that AI has collected via data the internet of putting together all the different types of testing that scientists who believe in the earth being billions of years old, every single testing they use has problems, and AI recognizes this. But what I want to point out first is that it is not possible, as AI overview right here says, for AI to determine with certainty the exact number of Christians worldwide, which are billions, by the way, who believe in young earth creationism. This is due to the lack of comprehensive, globally collected data on individual beliefs within religious groups and the varying interpretation of biblical creation accounts. While some studies may provide insights into prevalence of young earth creationism in specific regions or demographics, a global figure remains elusive. There's over 47,000 different denominations of the Christian faith, with basically anybody could start a church and give it a new name. It's increasing, but they have Bible studies for children in schools. They teach in churches, and it's not possible for them to collect what every denomination, when there's over 47,000 churches, teach. There's no poll been put upon all the people who are considered believers across the globe. You have countries where they don't even have free schools, so ministries go in there and they make sure that kids are allowed to get education through their ministries, and they teach them the Bible. So they have no way of knowing. Yet in some ways, I would say, the mainstream young earth is the minority, when in reality, it is more likely that young earth belief is definitely more than the non-belief, even though they're continuing to push as if it's concrete evidence, this theory that the old earth is fact. And I'm going to show you why that's important. I'm going to show you how every single test that they're using to push that ideology is faulty. Why? Why should you care as a believer, or maybe not a believer, whether or not the Bible talks about the age of the earth? Well, it talks about the beginning, and then it talks about generations. So if you have your Jews who have all their history going all the way back to the beginning of the tribes, they have their calendars that are BC and AD and Year of Our Lord. All these calculations of generations, they matter. Okay? But it says if the Bible, and that's an if, did not address this topic, it would matter when the material universe began. An all-powerful God could have accomplished his creation billions of years ago or thousands of years ago. But Christians should want to know the answer to this question. Does the divine narrative speak regarding the age of earth? An honest person will humbly let the testimony of the Bible settle the issue. On the other hand, those who feel the earth's present order as a result of evolutionary processes are forced to debate the issue, because evolution could not have happened if the earth's lifespan is measured in thousands of years. And there it is. In other words, an ancient earth is required because long periods of time are essential for evolution to work. All evolutionists admit that without enough time, the process could not have occurred. As a Dr. George Wald, an evolutionist, said, the time itself performs the miracles. Right? I'm going to show you the dating that they use, the dating methods that they use. I'm going to break it down, test method by test method. So you have your radiocarbon, which has recently been proven to be problematic. I showed that in a previous video. And then you have your other radiometric, so using potassium-40 dating also has problems. But they say we have other ways of testing, and I'm going to break it down. It says potassium-40 dating, while valuable, faces challenges that highlight the need for careful interpretation of results and limitations of any single dating method. It notes they must use other methods because this one has a problem. But then pay attention. It says specifically problems like SX argon, which can lead to older apparent ages and potential ARIA loss, can introduce errors. These challenges emphasize the importance of using multiple dating methods and geological context to arrive at a more accurate understanding of rock and earth ages. So somebody input this data for AI, right? But then let's break it down. So here's the other things that they use, okay? Techniques like uranium lead dating, rubidium strontium dating, and geological evidence like stratigraphic sequences and fossil records to cross-validate and refine estimates. Now let's look at the problems with each and every one of those other things that they're supposed to rely on, because this one is also not trustworthy. Let's start with the rubidium strontium RB-SR dating. While a valuable tool, it says the same thing, faces challenges. These issues can lead to inaccurate age estimations. Strike one of a other alternate technique to use. Uranium lead dating. While a powerful tool, faces several challenges that can lead to inaccurate age estimations. Possibility of contamination, presence of common lead, potential isotopic evolution or chemical weathering. Strike two of yet another alternate testing method, because the first one and the other one wasn't reliable. Fossil record and stratigraphic sequences, while providing valuable insights into Earth's history and evolution, are not perfectly complete. These several factors contribute to these challenges, including the specialized conditions needed for fossilization, completion of the rock record, and the complexities of interpreting fossil occurrences. They lead to gaps in our understanding of evolutionary history and biases in the fossil record. Strike four of the other things that they're supposed to rely on. Zircon minerals, while valuable for radiometric dating, present challenges in precisely determining Earth's age, stemming from factors like lead loss, incorporation of initial lead during zircon crystallization, and complexity of identifying and correcting for common lead contamination. Strike five of their other testing methods. Studying lunar rocks, crucial for understanding the Earth's age. There are some challenges. Moon's age, as indicated by lunar rock, seems younger than what's expected from thermal models and other evidence like zircon minerals, which suggest an older age. Strike again on yet another method that they use. And zircon minerals, while valuable for determining Earth's age, face challenges like radiation damage affecting the crystal structure and possibility of element mobility during weathering, potentially biasing age determinations. No matter what they say, but we'll rely on this, or this, or this, or this. Every single thing that they rely on, and especially accumulatively, is problematic and should not be pushed as foolproof evidence of anything. It's a theory. So lunar rocks can't be used because, well, they can use other things like zircon minerals. But you just saw the problem with zircon minerals. So we can't use zircon minerals. We can't use lunar rocks because you need zircon minerals, and you can't use zircon minerals, so let's go backwards now. Fossil records not a complete representation of past life. Sampling bias, uneven distribution of fossils across different geological locations and time periods can lead to misinterpretations. And in the fossils, it says right here, they offer valuable insights, but there's a major issue. The fossil record is incomplete, meaning not all organisms are preserved as fossils, and soft body organisms are less likely to be fossilized. Just as the amber that they found recently in a T-Rex, the blood of a dinosaur that proved that it's not possible to be the age that they declared, you see. Such as the dinosaur soft tissue. There have been many findings of wondrously preserved biological materials and supposedly ancient rock layers and fossils, but one such discovery that has left evolution as scrambling is a fossilized Tyrannosaurus rex femur with flexible connective tissue, branching blood vessels, and even intact cells. And guess what? They're still scrambling. They're still having to be stuck in the research phase because they cannot overcome this problem. And they're still scrambling. This is 2025, and this was 20 years ago that they discovered this, and they still have not overcome it. It said this finding of this soft tissue with a Tyrannosaurus rex fossil, including flexible connective tissue, blood vessels, and what appear to be cells. This finding sparked debate about how long soft tissue could be preserved, as scientists had previously believed proteins like collagen would degrade within 1,000,000 years, and their own presentation of what they believed has now kicked them into botte. The discovery was met with both scientific scrutiny and excitement, with scientists questioning the preservation methods and others exploring the implications for understanding dinosaur biology. Nonetheless, they're still stuck researching because they don't have the answers. The researchers have continued to study, and they still don't have the answers. And all the things that they're using as testing methods to prove the age of the earth continues. Each and everything they use to have problems. And cumulatively, that does not add up to evidence for them. And when you search all scientists testing methods for dating Earth have problems, it says, while radiometric dating, which is one of the things they most commonly quote, are generally reliable, they do have limitations and can sometimes yield inaccurate results. But when you break it down for each and everything that they say, but we use this, this, and this, and this, instead of relying only on this, and that's what I've just showed you, each and everything that they use alternatively has problems. It says, furthermore, different dating methods have different strengths and limitations, and some may not be suitable for all materials or age ranges. Thus saith AI, who has all the collections of all the things that's been discussed in the world about the age of the earth. The bottom line is, the scientists cannot prove, because they have problems in everything that they rely upon, and have been pushed backwards with recent developments into going back into research stage. So I would say the schools should have teaching of the age of the earth as a theory, and teach creation theory, and have the children, the people, they have the option of choosing what they believe. Because why would you push something with the many problems it has as something that is proof? That is stupidity.